have several qualities that I think you can rely on to be a facilitator. By Mr. Greg Moore, and who is the director of this now. But
it is a particular innovation of Africities and of UCLGA to set up this tripartite dialogue between national governments represented by the ministers, cities represented by the mayors, and developmental partners, local and international. The purpose of this exercise this morning, and we do have restrained time, is not to rush through questions and tick the box, but to rather try and engender a meaningful dialogue. And of course there can be differences of opinion.
The first question is addressed to mayors, how to ensure mutual accountability on financial management and at the local level, taking consideration the absorption capacity of the subnational level. That's the first question. If I can even go to French.
Okay. I'll allow the mayor to respond because we'll keep qualifying questions. You interpret the question as you see fit.
Yes. Thank you very much, Minister. I think on your question, to respond to your question is we are all stakeholders as the national governments and the local governments. And the delay of finances to the local governments or municipalities is also hindering the services of the local governments. So, I don't know if, I'm not posting another question, but I'm answering your question, Waziri, because if we agree here today that let the money leave the central government or national government, the municipalities or local government, maybe a week after being dispersed, we can be able to absorb it. Because at times we are asked maybe to account on what we spend. Another thing is maybe the capacity of the local governments or municipalities. Maybe at times we are not given enough capacity building that requires also money. And I still repeat, we are the same stakeholders.
De l'administration du territoire, surtout dans mon pays de Tchad, les gens ne déclenchent pas le fonds à temps pour que les élus locaux trouvent pour faire leur activité. Il faut au moins 6 mois pour faire le déclenchement. Et dès qu'on reçoit cet argent, nous sommes déjà presque à la fin du mois. Le ministère en charge des collectivités territoriales fait du retard, mais le ministère des Finances, il ne transfère pas aussi à temps l'argent. L'argent est transféré au niveau du trésor, c'est qu'on appelle ça unicité de caisse, mais pour que les collectivités décentralisées trouvent cet argent pour faire le fonctionnement, c'est un peu difficile, c'est trop même difficile. Et donc voilà le sérieux problème qui se pose entre l'administration territoriale, l'administration financière et les élus locaux. Et puis, plus l'administration territoriale et financière dit bon, on vous a déjà donné de l'argent. Or, qu'ils ne savent pas que nous travaillons aussi avec un programme. Et nous avons aussi des...
Vous savez comment les maires travaillent? D'abord, il faut faire son plan communal de développement. Donc, nous savons exactement ce que nous allons faire. Ce plan communal de développement est décliné en plan d'action. Ce plan d'action est confectionné et préparé dans un contexte de partenariat et de collaboration de toutes les couches de la société, que ce soit les jeunes, les femmes, les représentants de la société civile. Donc c'est un plan d'action qui répond aux besoins réels de la population. Ce plan d'action, bien sûr, pour la mise en œuvre, il a besoin de finances. Et comme nous disons, les finances, l'argent, c'est le nerf de la guerre. Et il faut dissocier. Nous avons deux aspects de financement. Le financement du fonctionnement, qui doit être là le plus tôt, et il est toujours là.
Time, capacity, and planning.
Correct.
And the planning should be
Okay, we move on.
national.
I'm getting this along.
The second question was talking about the role of the national level on possible dialogue between the Minister of Finance and the Ministers of Local Government. So I don't know if they understand.
What's the question?
The question is what role the national level on possible dialogue between the Minister of Finance and the ministers of local government. It is that the Minister of Finance is in charge of Treasury, National Treasury, and the Minister of Local Government they are in charge of those issues in local government. So there should be dialogue between those two ministers. What the role should be? First phase is to transfer power to the local authority and to the people. The second is transferring the means, the resources, to facilitate the local authority to implement the programs and the projects. But the third phase that is always delaying or lagging behind is sectoral decentralization. For the local government ministry, for example, in Rwanda, we have decentralized the powers, and means, resources to the local authorities, and we are now fighting to push, let's say, the Ministry of Agriculture to decentralize the means to the local authority, because the technicians are operating at the level of district and the sectors, being coordinated by the district. The health sector, they have their medical doctors, their nurses at the level of district and cells and sectors. But what we need today is to push the ministers of sector, the sectors that have activities in the local areas, to decentralize the means, the vehicles, the means, the coordinator projects that are staying in the capital city, that should be going to operate at the level of district.